Howdy y'all. It's October 17th, 2011, and I'm sick. So I finally have time to actually do this. I apologize for the lack of video content. It's just, everything is so busy here. That's one of the first things you noticed about being here, is that time seems off in I-House. Everything seems longer than it is, or shorter than it is, but what I mean by that is we seem to have less time to get everything we need to done, although admittedly there's a lot of distractions having so many interesting people in one place. But also, I swear to you, the first 3 weeks here, it felt like we'd been here for months. It was very strange. Only now is it starting to time's starting to feel a bit more relative, or not relative, actual normal. Now that we're in October, it's almost midterm, so that sobers you up pretty quickly. I wanted to cover what I was going to cover, what we did during orientation, because that was a tiring process, to be sure. Okay, first day of orientation, we all met up for the first time. Those of us who live in I-House, and those of us who have lived in Dormi Fukuoka, which is where other students can choose to live if they like to, which also has some good and bad things from what I'm told. They feed you twice a day, which, considering how expensive it is here, would be a good thing. I'll get back to that in a moment. And also you get you don't have to share shower facilities, but from what I'm told, one, I know the rent is a bit higher and you have to pay every month, as opposed to an I-House where you pay once for 5 months. And I'm told it's kind of like chicken coops. Everyone's just stacked in there all together. So, moving on from there, we all met for the first time and kind of went over some things that would be important. Although, it's a bit hard to understand. Well, they give you a student handbook, has all the international students listed, and your student number. Go over things like I-House fees and payments, the fact that we need an alien registration card, which I'll get to in a moment, just the various things. Then we break for lunch, but then all the I-House students go to I-House, and we get 2 demonstrations. One, we get a cleaning demonstration, which we are required. Everyone's put on a cleaning schedule, so we're required to clean the floor. To clean our entire floor. Doesn't take too long. Just stay on top of it, otherwise they might bump it up to more times a week, which can be annoying. But we also got to have the fire department came and taught us how to use fire extinguishers. So we basically had target practice with practice fire extinguishers. That was rather fun, actually. The next day we had our Japanese placement test, which is the proper amount of difficult. Having not learned any Japanese, I didn't last very long. But later that day, we had to do our alien registration and insurance. Well, alien registration. So we all met back in the room where we took our Japanese placement test, and we had to fill out for our alien registration card, which you have to have. Otherwise, the police, in theory at least, can stop you at any moment and ask you for it. If you don't have that or your passport, they can detain you. So that's a bit important. We also have to register for our Japanese national health insurance, which we are required to have. If we're going to be in the country longer than like 30 days, you're required to have it. Same with the national health insurance. or alien registration card. So that took quite some time to finally do that. Then we had to all walk down to the ward office and go through that bureaucratic process. So that took quite some time, actually. It was a very, very long time. That was a long day. Excuse me. On that Wednesday, which was August 24th, we learned how to use the computers on campus. We had to forward our email address, or forward, because we had the campus network. We have an email address from them, or we could just forward them to our personal email address, which probably be a bit easier, I think. Then we took a campus tour, saw the different places around the campus. We also, that was the day we took, we found out when we would register our computers. Now, I was surprised to know they don't have very much wireless internet here, which is very annoying, actually. They give you, we're given a number, and then at various times over the next couple of days, we went in to have our computer IP, or whatever it's called. I'm not much of a computer guy, but we had to have our computers registered so we can have wireless on campus, but also so we can even get into the network through LAN cables. Just to let you know, you might have to invest in that. I mean, I was lucky enough to where some of the rooms had LAN cables in them, others didn't. You had to go buy them. Probably would buy them from Don Quixote, which another thing I'll come to in a while. And then Thursday we had convocation. Another long process. We all had to get dressed up. They didn't want you in jeans. Luckily, being my normal personality, I tend to overdress. And we all went to the community center. The president of the university gave speech, as did some of the heads of various departments, and then we all mingled. Then we all went to the reception hall in Cross Plaza and mingled with Japanese English students, with some of our teachers. There was a bit of a buffet. There was a bit of hors d'oeuvres and lunch around. It wasn't too bad. It was a bit tedious. Then we had to introduce ourselves. And then classes officially started on Friday, although my class was canceled, so I didn't. Yes, I will. That's the thing I'm going to bring up. No matter what level of Japanese you know, or they put you in, to quote my mate Marcos, the classes are somewhere between challenging and murder. Period. No matter what level you're at, that's a blanket description of all of them. In fact, one of my mates had to be kicked down to a lower class because it was just too much. It is the class that it's also the class I missed today. The class that causes me personally the most trouble. So the first week is a bit long and tiring, but then the classes start and they're even longer and tiring. They're even more long and tiring. But don't get me wrong, I enjoy my classes here. Japanese, even Japanese, as difficult as it is, the classes aren't actually all that too difficult as long as you stay on top of them. They're pretty easy. Japanese class is the only one you have multiple times a week, and usually 3 hours at a time. So the other ones are quite entertaining as well. Okay, I would also like to mention about the Kyoto trip. If you have a chance to,